Hi and welcome to my channel, the rocket scientist that review Lego classic sets from the time period of 1978 to 1987. Today we will review the Lego 889 radar truck. The radar truck was first released in 1979. It holds just 20 bricks. It has a weight of 46 grams. And it also have this red minifigure without any tool included. The dimension is as follow: approximately total length of 9.5 centimeter. The width of the model is, with the parabol included, 4.6 centimeter, and the height, if I do it like this, it's measured to be approximately 6.5 centimeters. Let's have a look on the design of the model. Yeah, we have this kind of scuba divers cylinders in front, which may be to provide energy for the rover, I don't know. It's design-wise really nice. It's nice that we see these fenders around the wheels, which is kind of logical, and just referring to the Apollo missions when they flew to the moon and they had this lunar rover there. They learned that the wheels stir up a lot of moon dust, and lacking fenders, you will have a lot of contamination of moon dust on the astronaut itself and other part or equipment. And they had fenders on the lunar rover, but on the last mission to the moon they broke one of the rear fenders, and they had to repair it using part of a flight manual, I think, to duct tape it. Why is this moon dust so an issue? Well, if you are on the moon, you have hardly any atmosphere, basically no atmosphere there, and you have no natural abrasion on the stones and sand, so the moon dust becomes very sharp edged compared to what you are used to seeing on a beach. Nice beach here on Earth, and this sticks to clothing and equipment very easily. And there's another factor: it's electrostatic forces. They create charges, so they stick to objects. So if man is going back to the moon and are going to be there for prolonged periods, the moon dust actually is a serious problem. And on this model they have fender, as I said, which is really good. It helps protecting the astronaut and the equipment. So this is an radar truck, and you have the radar dish on the rear part of the vehicle, and the dish can, pull it back. You can elevate it from horizontal position all the way to vertical, and in between or back in it. So that's the only thing. You don't have any azimuth direction, meaning you cannot change it like that. Then you have to position your vehicle before you start tilting. This is a serious setback if this was to be a real model to be used for application, because the parabol dish is very sensitive on a small field of view, and being a radar, you normally would track a moving object. So it could be like this is a rocket. We pretend it's being launched over here. and it will follow the rocket or the satellites that orbits over the planet or moon. So this design, I would say, it's a little boring. This vehicle is just all gray and less nothing on the wheels, but many of the Lego sets from the time period, they had at least a green cylinder here, transparent green colored brick, which added a nice color contrast. Here you have nothing, just this handgun piece sticked in there to act as a detector for the radar dish. This is something I remember from my childhood when playing with this, that I didn't like this model that much, although I have some warm feelings for it today, over 40 years later. That said, a little odd thing with this design, and it's in the instruction. I can show the instruction right away. Just place this car over here, and if you look here, you see you have this one-notch piece, or what you call it, placed there in the upper left corner there, and that means that the parabole is sitting a little offset from this piece here and from the symmetry axis, if you could call that, or plane going through the vehicle, which I find a little odd. So you see it here. I follow the instruction. A rocket scientist always do that. So you see it's offset from the an imagined center plane here to a small degree. So I don't know why they decided to have it like this. It gives a little quirkiness on the design maybe, but I believe this is way too loose. I believe this should have been like this. In the center, which you can do like this. And it still works very well and do the same thing, but it's in center. So how is this design or this model to play with? Well, nothing special with it. Rolls very well. Nothing much to do if you just had this kit. There's no equipment with the astronaut, which I think is a bit lacking. Should have been a walkie-talkie, even that a walkie-talkie is not very realistic for vacuums of space operations, but still. Nostalgic force. Well, I remember this kit very well, and would not say too much about it. It's something that I like. I enjoy it to see it again. Last time it was 4 years ago, so time flies. Now let's set the scores for design, playability and nostalgic force. First I rolled my dice and it ends on 4 of 6 on design. Why not a full score? Well, first of all, I think the radar dish, since this is a radar truck, it should have more than just the elevation angle. It should also have a pointing direction, what we call azimuth direction. So that could have been solved by adding a rotating plate here. I would also say that this lacks a little color contrast. They should have included this green cylinder, transparent green cylinder here instead of this piece there, my opinion. So 4 of 6. Playability, yeah, I have given it 4 of 6. It rolls really well. but there's nothing much to do. If you just had this kit, you can just pitch this dish up and down. There's no walkie-talkie, no computer console to play with, so a bit simple. Nostalgic force, well, I have decided to give it a 5 of 6. That's my personal view, of course, and I remember it very well from my young days. I had it myself, this kid, and it's a delight to see it back again. So all in all, 13 of 18 in score, so slightly higher than the Space Buggy, but still behind the Space Scooter. What about the Rocket Scientist score? Could this model be something that you could build and use? I give it a score of 2 of 6. There are some realism to this, but there's so many other things that this lack to be a practical vehicle for professional use. First of all, it's too small. It lacks volume here for energy, so you can move for a further distance. You have no azimuth direction on the antenna, and the vehicle has no space or volume allocated for control console for operating the radar dish. Remember also the radar dish would need energy, so again the volume for having energy for this dish and other equipment needed is simply, to my opinion, a little too limited. So the usefulness of this design would be very limited. That's all for now. Thank you for watching, and see you hopefully soon. Bye for now.